Bonjour les petits poussins. First of all, I am back. I don't know when was the last time I actually recorded an episode, but I did realize that the last time I recorded an episode, I wasn't happy with it. And I was not happy with the content because I recorded, and as I always do, I just have one thought and then I start talking about it. I usually have one thought and then like sometimes I have a sort of structure and like a few points that I want to go through. But sometimes it's literally just taking the mic and then let's just fucking go. And I know I said in one of my episodes that I wanted to have at least 100 episodes before the end of June. We are 25th of June. I think we're episode 79. This is going to be episode 80. And I told myself I'm going to record one episode a day for the 35 things that I am unlearning at the age of 35. Et en fait, I realized that I was back to the fucking performance thing of putting myself challenges for what? You know? Like, if I am being super honest, that 100 episode thing was interesting at the beginning of this journey when I started in end of December, but life happens, and I always told myself, especially this year, that I would do everything with integrity. And integrity means for me that I don't do things with pressure. I don't do things to prove something to anyone. I don't do things to I don't push myself to prove anything to anyone. And I don't push myself to perform. If I push myself, it's just from me to me because I want to put myself a deadline that is somewhat of a challenge, but that is also like a joyful challenge, not a whole I need to fucking land on 100 episodes for people because people are expecting this from me. People are not expecting jack shit from me. And if you have been expecting something from me, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not sorry to disappoint you because you haven't shared your expectations with me. But regardless, I am back in also with a better energy because, again, the last time I recorded an episode, I really wasn't happy. I literally rambled for 20 or 22 minutes, and I had a feeling when I started it that this wasn't it. I pushed myself, and then at the end of those 22 minutes, I was like, this is not it. This was not me. This was not my voice. This was not the things, or these were not the things that I really wanted to be doing. And what's the point of just producing for the sake of producing? And I think that beginning of June, I also put myself an extensive challenge to create content because I wanted to be on different platforms, on Instagram, then on Threads, then on TikTok, then on Substack, then on LinkedIn. And I was like, this is so fucking much. I cannot do it, I cannot, and I don't want to. Like, I guess it's good to maybe put yourself some challenges and to push yourself to explore. But if you start losing, again, the joy and like the enjoyment, then there's no point. And again, enjoyment for me this year in everything that I do was really the number one boundary. I didn't want to do things again just because I had to prove something to someone or that I had to perform, but I really just wanted to do things because I want to be creative again. I want to reconnect to who I am, to my own ways of expression, especially since I'm not dancing as much as I used to, since I'm not teaching as much as I used to. It's just rediscovery for me. And so here I am. I'm not sure where this is going to be because I had an idea of where I wanted this to be, and I still wanted to talk about the 35 things that I am unlearning. And I feel like maybe this is somewhat linked to it, because I am unlearning that joy is unserious. Joy is not the fucking carrot on the stick. It's not the decoration. It's not the bonus. It's not the cherry on the cake. It is cake, not Kate. It is the fucking direction. And I'm still in my Show Up 90 challenge, and he asked us not so long ago to actually talk about one of our boundaries. And for me, boundaries are always so much about, protecting your energy, cutting things off, sometimes cutting people off. And I see it as something that is, I used to see it as something that was quite negative because it put a barrier, you know. But now I actually see it as something that is really positive, especially when you start creating things in your life, when you are rebuilding, when you also want to understand and get to know who you are as a person. And this is my personal journey for the past year. And I say this, I am unlearning that joy is unserious and joy being the fucking direction, because this is what's been happening for the past few months. I really lost the joy of creating. I think I would say the last year of me having my business. So let's say 2024 until 2025, because 2025 is the blip. You know, if you watched, which movie was it? I think it was like Ant-Man. They were talking about the blip, you know, like this hole on in the timeline where shit happened and then life became something completely different. So this is my blip. 2025 is my blip, but a positive blip. But anyways, I think from 2024 to 2025, I really just lost the joy of creating. I think the only thing I created was my free flow dance class, and it lasted 6-7 months, because after that I had to that was part of my job, but I traveled so much in 2024 for work, teaching internationally, hosting my own camps, my retreats, my weekenders, my own events, and dance coaching and everything, that I didn't have this regularity of teaching anymore. And that was the only thing that I really did, I think, with joy, that brought so much joy also to me, but that I also did with joy. Like, the process was fucking joyful. And then 2025 was 2025. But I realized when he asked that question, talk to us about a boundary, that joy is a fucking boundary. You know, like reminding yourself to do things with joy and not have joy be the fucking carrot on the stick. Because there was a couple of weeks, I think maybe, when I started selling the playground, inviting people into this world, I really lost the joy of creating content. And because it was coming all from a place of I have to, I must, I should, I need, and then it becomes very much conditional, because it's like, if I do this, then I get the joy. If I launch the business now, then I get the joy of serving people. If I even like life decisions, if I go to Sardinia now, I get to have the joy that I'm looking for. But sometimes it's also just like avoidance. I know, for example, for Sardinia, I really pushed it. For me, it was like, I need to have the fucking Sardinia thing by September. Otherwise, I am not going to be joyful. I am not going to be the happy little Larry that I used to be. I'm not going to be the sunny sunshine that I used to be, and everything. And I'm like, that's not the case, first of all, because I am becoming happier and happier for other reasons, but just also because I am doing everything with joy. I go to the gym with more joy in the past couple of months than I have gone in the past few years, because it was always like a sort of chore. It was always like, okay, I need to go because my knee is fucked. I need to go because I want to have a strong body. I need to go because I want to have a fucking big bunda. I need to go because I don't want to die with fucking illnesses and back pain and whatever. Whilst now, it's like, I go because there's no because. I go because I enjoy going. And it's fucking mad hot, and I will still go. I will still respect my going to the gym every other day, apart from the last couple of days, because the heat is heating and I am learning to listen to my body. But the process of going to the gym and of looking forward, indeed, to still have a strong body, to be able to move at the age of 70, to be able to shake my bunda at the age of 80, to be able to lift things at this age, and to be able to lift my future kids, is being done with enjoyment. And I think maybe now that joy and that going back to the process, I know sometimes it is hard to focus on the process, because it's like, fuck, I want the fucking goal. I want to see the fucking results now. But I think that there's so much more peace and so much more acceptance, I guess also so much more faith and trust. And I don't know, there's been this sense of letting go a bit of the result, obviously. And really, again, I'm repeating myself, focusing on the process and enjoying it. And I'm not going to be lying to you if I say that right now I feel good about it. But the last couple of weeks, maybe I was like, fuck my life, in a way that I've had panic attacks, 3 or 4 panic attacks. I don't know if it's panic attacks or anxiety attacks just the past week. So you see me here like, yay, you know, showing up on social media and everything, but life is still lifing, and I'm still, I guess, recovering. But this is also all part of the process. I'm not going to say that I've enjoyed these anxiety attacks, especially when your body stops working and you have these moments of like, why the fuck do I feel tinglings in my body? I know how to deal with it, so don't worry, and I have the right support and everything. But I do realize that everything that is happening for me the past year and a half of complete destruction is a reconstruction, is really rebuilding my foundations. And actually my ex-partner told me, maybe you've been living your whole life on foundations that were built for you. Like, you've never questioned those foundations. You've never questioned, for example, the hustle, the grind, because that's all I know. I only know how to work, how to do things, how to move, how to be ambitious, how to be driven, how to just fucking do things and create, and in that sense be a machine, you know, a machine of creativity, of opportunities, of choreography. Like, people used to call me choreography machine back when I was teaching. And mind you, I was teaching like 16 classes a week when I started, and I would literally create a fucking choreography for each and every one of these 16 classes, because that's all I knew. Like, I cannot do the same thing twice, because if they come back on Monday and then they come back on Saturday, then it's like, my God, they're going to see the same choreography. What the fuck? And obviously that evolved into, again, building the foundations. Repetition is key. Practicing, repeating is how you build your fucking foundations, is how you build something solid, you know. And this is also how you like start to learn to take your time, you know. I think we're so much in a rush all the fucking time, and maybe like we're distracted. For me, like, we live in a world filled with fucking distractions, starting with social media. Like, I was supposed to record this episode maybe like, I don't know, 15-20 minutes ago, but do you know what I did? I was on fucking Instagram. Voila, I say it for 10 minutes, but still, it's 10 minutes that I could have started recording my episode. So back to the distractions. This is, you know, again, rebuilding on foundation, like rebuilding your foundations and strong foundations. And one of my strong foundations now is doing it with joy or not doing it at all. Like, I refuse to believe that even if let's say I honestly want to make millions because I want to retire my mom, because I want to have the choice of removing the frictions in my life. I want to be able to support my brother in his business, my people in their own businesses, in their ventures. I want to be able to just like provide, you know. I want to do that. That's why I want to make so much money. But I also refuse to just grind and hustle, or like, I can do the grind and the hustling because I've done it, you know. I'm used to it. I want to do it less, obviously, but if I have to do it, I will fucking do it. And you know, I have no ego in that. I have no shame. Like, I'm at this stage right now where I'm actually looking for a part-time job, and I have been applying to so many part-time jobs. I also have been applying to jobs in corporate, remote, hybrid, with responsibilities and skills that I want to be doing. But even when I do that, even that process, I want to do it with joy. I'm not gonna go on my fucking laptop from 8 in the morning until 5 p.m. and just like produce and create fucking CVs and motivational letter and apply. Like, I want to do that with joy, because I think that it gives that sense of safety and that sense of peace also to your body and to your nervous system, to be like, hey, we can actually do that and enjoy ourselves. Like, can you imagine if you have to always just fucking struggle and hustle and grind to get the joy, to get the enjoyment, to get the whatever? I know, because I've done that with my business. I've done that when I was in corporate, and God knows I really enjoyed myself. But the ratio between the enjoyment and the hustle and the grind, I would say 80-20. 20 joy, 80% grinding, struggling, pushing, performing, proving, holding, carrying, like all these fucking words, just saying them out loud, I'm like, ugh. So it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy task. Obviously, I'm trying to find my own balance. And oh my God, I thought this was not recording. And it's a work in progress, but every time I do something, whether dancing, taking a dance class, creating a piece of content, writing an article, going to see a friend, anything, even cooking, like the most mundane thing to the most creative things that I can do and that I want to do, joy needs to be in there. Even if I want to relax, even if I feel like I really need to relax and just get my mind off of the screen or anything, I will take my fucking book and color, but really think of this and do it with joy, not as I need to take my mind off of this thing, this will do me good. I don't know if this makes sense. So there's no more this sort of like conditional relationship between me doing the thing and me getting the thing. So there's no, c'est ça, the transactional piece of it, because I don't want to live a life like this, because I've lived that, and it's not really funny. And I don't know, it's maybe like a hashtag rich people's problems, but I found that being super conscious, I would say intentional, of how you want to build your life is so fucking important, because then it's easy to go back to your own patterns, your own behaviors, the way you used to be doing things. And especially when life hits you with so many different events, for me, 2025 changed the fucking game on so many different levels in my life. I know I'm never gonna see things the same way. I might have, the same personality, same character, same will of living a life that is full, that is fulfilling, that is happy, that is just also, but I also want to have it in a way that is focused on enjoyment first, even the hard things. I really believe that we can enjoy the hard things, and proof of the matter is when I go to the gym, I enjoy again lifting heavy. It's a proof to me, and especially now for my nervous system to build and to expand my capacity. This is what my therapist also said. And I'm actually going to be a therapist. I'm going to be studying somatic experiencing, which is the study of the nervous system and how to, move from the different states, sympathetic, parasympathetic, and everything. And so I'm building more capacity in that sense. But I also want to build capacity with joy. And so when I find myself going to the gym and lifting 100 kilos, I promise you the process is way different than what I used to do. What I used to do was like, all right, people are looking, you need to perform. And then I go into these stances and poses. It's like, wah! and calling whatever fucking demon to possess my body. And now I'm just like, that's me and me. This is my moment. This is my little bubble. I'm doing this for myself. I have nothing to prove. I'm not here to push. I'm not here to perform. And I promise you, every time I'm in that position, I'm in that mood, things come easy. And I'm going to give you an example. When was it? I think it was Monday. So the week before, I have this schedule for my gym where I have 4 different workouts. 1 upper body, 1 lower body, and 2 full body. And so this was lower body on this Monday, so 3-4 days ago. And I note everything down on the notebook now. I don't use my phone anymore because every time I do an exercise, I also tune into my body. I'm like, okay, how did I feel? What came easy? What felt hard? And from one session to another, I always look back to the notes. If I do the Romanian deadlift the week before, so last week, I only did 3. And I ate good and everything. I only I think I only did 3. And I looked at my notes and I was like, okay, I breathed properly, I braced properly, I felt good in my body, like I didn't, I unclenched my butthole, like really very detailed stuff, huh? And also just like I put tiny hearts and, sorry, just to also be proud of myself, like, hey bitch, you fucking did it. And so this week on Monday, I actually doubled it. I did 6 times 100 kilos. That is fucking heavy. And if I'm being honest, I could have gone all the way till 8. So the max is always like 8 reps before I put on extra weight. And why am I telling you this? Because I did the 6 reps, but I took my time. I hyped myself up, but by just breathing, by taking my time, by just like, who the fuck is looking at me? Whoever wants to be after me will wait. I also pay a fucking subscription here, just like anybody else. I'm gonna take my time to do my fucking rep and to be mindful of my body. And I think that what brings me that sense of enjoyment as well is that really being at the gym, lifting heavy is always a constant reminder of stay in the fucking moment. Because if you don't breathe, if you don't have a proper form, then you're gonna have a fucking injury when you start lifting your weight. And we don't want to do that. Because I don't have my physio anymore. I am not insured anymore. I don't exist in this country, okay? So I am being also mindful of that, of my health, and thinking of the long term, because I still want to lift things. What's the point of me rushing the process? What's the point of me proving anything, pushing, performing, if the result is going to be fucking injury? So going back to that, there's enjoyment. And then at the end of the exercise, it's like it's me and me. And I tell my body, hey dude, you did fucking amazing. And I throw in a little dance. And I think I'm telling you this today because we forget really to just, I don't know, enjoy this thing. You know, when I think of like what I want to share as stories maybe in the future to my kids, to my people, or even just me looking back at how I built my life, I want to look back and tell myself I've enjoyed that process, even when it was hard. Because it is hard. Like I'm really just, you know, if I listen to my fucking fears and insecurities and my imagined, you know, bullshit that I tell myself, it's like literally you are 35 years old, you're back to your mom's place. Sometimes you wake up and you have a sense of purpose, and some other days you're like, where the fuck you're going? It is very disorienting. Like, I don't wish that to happen to people. And for me now, I really look at it as a very positive thing because I am alive, I am breathing, I am strong, I am able to become even stronger. And for me, every time I lift weight and every time I sort of like kill my own records, I always thank God, because I'm like, you gave me strength again, you gave me life, you avoided me having a fucking disease after what happened in 2025. Like, the worst that I had in 2025 was losing my hair and losing some weight. That was it. God bless, I'm literally touching my head. I don't have anything else. All of my levels are good. I'm eating properly. I'm eating well. I still have money in my bank account to just feed myself and to, you know. So every time I think of all of this, I'm just obviously grateful. And if I'm grateful, then the only thing I can do is, again, do all of it with enjoyment. Because as I said, I don't want to look back to my life, or I don't even, you know, when I think of like speaking to people on stage or wanting to inspire people, I'm hoping I do that with you guys. I just want to do that with enjoyment. I want to be able to be like, hey, you really enjoyed the process. It was fucking hard, but what is a piece of hard, like what is 1.5 year or 2 or even 5 of rebuilding, but taking your time and doing it with joy. You know, like it's nothing. Time is nothing, especially when you still have your health. It's like, it's nothing. So might as well just do it with fucking joy. Because the thing is, what makes you say that if you do things now with, not with enjoyment, let's say with pushing, proving, performing, and just all these sort of like friction sort of energy, you know, like it's just For me, it's like poo caca in the body, you know? What makes you think that if you do life like this, or if you build your own projects like this, you're gonna get joy at the end of it? Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather have the joy now and do it with joy as being my friend than do it with fucking constipation. Donc, voilà. That's it for today. I think this was literally lesson number 11. I'm not going to say see you tomorrow for lesson number 12 because, again, we take it one step at a time. And that's it. Allez, bisous.